Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be talking about supply and demand. So first we're going to get started with demand. So in the area of demand, there is the competitive market. So the competitive market is a market in which there are many buyers and sellers of the same good or service. And the key feature of a competitive market is that no individual's actions have a noticeable effect on the price at which a good or service is sold. So, an example of this would be like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. They account for such a large portion of total sales that they're able to influence the price at which Coca-Cola beverages are bought and sold. So, what this kind of means is that since their area is so large and since they're able to sell so much, they get to choose what price they're going to sell at and what's going to make the most money out of that price. So the demand portion of supply and demand is the different quantities of goods that consumers are willing and able to buy at different prices. So in a little bit more of understanding terms, demand is the quantity of product that people want. It's what the people are going to buy. So with demand comes a law of demand, which states there's an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Law of demand is the result of three separate behaviors. So the substitution effect. So when the price of an item goes up, then people might look for a substitute. So a good that is the same thing, but for less money. So if you're selling Coke at $3 a can, then someone's going to go buy an off-brand Coca-Cola beverage for $1, $2. So that's the substitution effect. The income effect is if the price goes up for a product, the purchasing power increases for consumers, allowing them to purchase more. The law of diminishing marginal utility. So as you consume more goods, the additional satisfaction from each unit will eventually decrease. So this just kind of means that you're not going to keep buying the same thing over and over again because you're going to get tired of it and you're going to get bored of it. So there are 5 shifters of demand. These are called the determinants. So 1, we have tastes and preferences. That determines how much people are going to buy of a product. The number of consumers, so who is going to be buying this product, that changes how much demand is going to come from that product. Price of related goods, so like I said, if something else costs lower, then people are going to go for that instead of the item that costs a higher amount. Changes in income, so like with normal goods, when income rises, you want to buy more, and then when income rises, for inferior goods, when income rises, you buy less. And then 5, changes to future expectations. So this kind of just means your idea of what you want in your future changes, so you're not going to keep buying something else that you may not need anymore or you may not want anymore. Supply. Supply is the different quantities of goods that a seller is willing and able to sell or produce at different prices based on demand. Supply will change. So if a product is not selling, then there's no reason to have a large supply of it. So the law of supply states that there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. So as price increases, the quantity producers make increases, and then as price falls, the quantity producers makes falls. So there are also 5 supply shifters. So number 1, we have prices / availability of resources. So if there aren't a lot of resources, then the supply is going to go down because people don't have access to those resources to make their good. 2, the number of sellers. So that kind of, when we're talking about the competitive market, there's many suppliers. So if there's so many in one product, then that changes how much one company is going to sell. 3, changes in technology. So as technology changes, supply is going to change as well, going up usually. If things break, things don't go as they're supposed to, laws change for how things are supposed to be made and stuff like that. That determines how much producers are able to supply. And then for government action, so taxes and subsidies. So a subsidy is a government payment that supports a business or market, and subsidies cause supply of a good to increase. So this is a good thing. Taxes are kind of what take off how much the producer is making off of selling. Last but not least, equilibrium. So a competitive market is in equilibrium when the price has moved to a level at which the quantity of a good or service demanded equals the quantity of that good or service supplied. So the price at which this takes place is the equilibrium price, also referred to as the market clearing price. So the quantity of a good or service bought and sold at that price is equilibrium quantity. And that's that.